What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the All-Star announcement video. So in this video we're going to be revealing the Home Run Derby contestants, which you can probably see in front of you right there, as well as all of the All-Stars, the ones that were voted by the fans as well as the ones that were selected by the GMs. So I am the Eggs GM and I am joined by
the GM of the Knights
and the GM of the Monkeys.
Alright, so we're going to get into this, and we already have a few monkeys here. As well, sitting in front of you all, that is the Home Run Derby right there. So these are the 9 competitors. The first 6, Baby Donkey Kong, Dark Bones, Hello Mario, Bowser, Petey, and DK, all qualified because they hit home runs during the regular season. And the final 3 were wild cards that were voted on you all, the fans. So you guys voted Toadsworth, Monty Mole, and Funky Kong. So we will be seeing them in the Home Run Derby. So what do you guys think about this lineup for the first ever Home Run Derby?
I think this looks like a pretty good lineup. We've got a lot of heavy hitters here, a lot of diversity with the power of the batters here. We have seen some home runs, of course, through the first 6. Some pretty amazing ones here. And then Toadsworth actually did pretty decent batting at some point, didn't he?
He did,
he
but
never
it was not
run.
because of his heavy hitting, though.
Yeah, he had some decent ons there. So I like this roster here.
Yeah, I like it too, especially because my boy Dark Bones. You know, he would have hit 2 home runs if Dixie wasn't a god, but you know, I think the fans know something we don't, because Toadsworth is LVP, but also people don't charge shit with them.
That is true.
Enough.
Maybe Toadsworth, our Discord has dubbed him as a Toad Brady. Maybe he'll come out and just straight up win the Home Run Derby. That would be a story. But alright, so that's the Home Run Derby. Now we're going to move on, and we're going to be announcing who the fans voted into the All-Star game. So as you can see right here, all of these participants all received 1 vote. And whenever the color on the tier is not gray, that is whenever they start to get into the All-Star game. You'll understand when I go up. So here's everybody who received 1 vote. So does anybody stand out here to Monkey's Gym?
Nope. I was expecting Rupa to get in, but you know, we'll just have to try harder next season.
So yeah, Rupa not voted in by the fans.
I'm kind of surprised Hammerbro only got 1 vote here.
Yeah, Hammerbro kind of a beast. Didn't play all 5 games, but from what action he saw, he was kind of a unit. So these are all the characters who got 2 votes. All Knights.
Well, that's kind of surprising because Dream here, Green Shy Guy, was an MVP in a couple of the games that we had. Grogu, of course, had some really good catches in the outfield, has some decent batting. Of course, we kind of fell apart in the last 3 games, which is probably where that comes from. But because again, it's harder to remember how good a team did if it's all in the first half of the season, even if it's the same results as like the end, like if it happened all in the end. But
yeah, a lot of recency bias in the fan vote,
yeah.
And that's why we get to pick the other 9.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, Dream definitely deserves to be higher, but it's all right.
That's okay.
So, people who received 3 votes. One that may surprise you.
Oh wow, my man Logan Paul.
I don't like how he's staring at Matt there. I think he might know something we don't.
Yeah, that's right. Logan Paul ended up receiving 3 votes. So, yep, he is in the league, definitely. But yeah, one that actually did kind of surprise me. Matt only received 3 votes. Not only did Matt do really well on the season, but I thought he was more of a fan favorite than this. But apparently he's just on equal terms with Logan Paul. And King K. Rool, who I didn't even see there.
I'm surprised K. Rool is higher than 3 of the other Knights team members, which I guess makes sense. People, even though King K. Rool is a contender for LVP this year, I also think that people just like him, like
That's true.
ironically. So
He's probably a meme pick.
yeah, that would make sense.
Daisy, another person who should probably be higher, but it's fine. It's fine. So people who received 4 votes. We got another Knight here in Bowser, as well as 2 Bros. Bowser in the Bro sandwich there. It's really no surprises here. All solid players this season. People who received 5 votes. I'm surprised Pablo didn't do better in the polls.
Yeah.
But maybe Pablo's breakout season will be... We'll just have to wait and see.
I mean, the commentator isn't even calling Pablo by his name, so we'll have to try our next
Maybe that'll help. But yeah, also the GOAT here as well.
Yeah.
The GOAT finds himself on equal terms with Pablo.
And
Rosalina, somebody else who had a really good
exactly.
season and is here too.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad Rosalina's higher than the other Knights, but like
That's true.
5 votes.
Yep.
Alrighty, so 6 votes. We got Dark Bones, as well as Blue Pianta, who somehow wrangled up 6 people to vote for him, and reigning Finals MVP Boki. So really no surprises here. All these
Yeah.
are solid players, but maybe not all-star material. Next is Red Critter, who did surprisingly well in the polls, actually.
Yeah.
Red Critter standing alone.
So 7 votes for Red Critter. Nobody received 8 votes. I guess nobody was just good enough for that. But these two were good enough for 9 votes, which is Green Critter and Boo. So Green Critter, of course, one of your favorites over at the Knights, as well as the rookies pitcher Boo.
Yeah. So I'm glad Critter got so high up. Really a defensive menace this year. Even though the Knights lost half their games, Critter put up a fight in every single one of those games. And of course, Boo, one of the best pitchers we've ever seen in the league, and pretty decent this year too.
I think we'll be talking about Critter more when we get into the Defensive Player of the Year conversations in a week or two. But alright, up next we got Peach and Blue Critter. So Blue Critter, surprise player this season, as well as Peach, kind of returning to her previous good pitching form.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised Blue Critter even got this far.
Hey, he got the most votes out of any critter.
I'm surprised Blue Critter got more votes than Red Critter, which is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, but Blue Critter, he puts in the work. He gets punched by those balls, and he just has a fear of those baseballs now. So.
More of a punching bag than a shortstop. But
Yeah.
Alright, so 11 votes. We got Yoshi, Monty Mole, and Donkey Kong. So Monty Mole, another league favorite, kind of had not a crazy season like he did last year, but was still good enough to get 11 votes. And Yoshi, another player who had an underrated season. 12, we got the captain of the Fireballs, Mario. So as the Fireballs find themselves still alive in the playoffs, maybe Mario can try to sneak in here.
And we did see a lot of good with Mario this season with his star pitch, or his star hit rather.
Yeah.
Because he did, even though a lot of those were fouls, he eventually found his rhythm, and his was actually really, really good for the team.
And 12 is a lot, but it was not good enough for the All-Star game, at least from the fans. Next, we got Luigi and Herman, the two that I would argue are just scraping by on name alone.
Yeah.
Because they had solid seasons.
Yeah.
But not up to their usual standards.
Yeah, Luigi fell off a little from last season. I can say Herman didn't as much as Luigi, but Luigi in particular, he went from pitcher of the year to a decent pitcher, but not like the best pitcher in the league.
I think in the stats, Luigi was a very middle of the road pitcher.
Yeah.
Which is solid, just a far cry from the pitcher of the year he was last year. And Herman was super inconsistent, really just depends on the night he had previously.
Yeah.
Alright, now surprisingly King Boo, who I thought the fans would easily vote in, but he only got 1 more vote than Luigi.
That's interesting, considering he was a much better pitcher for our team this season than Luigi happened to be. He originally started as just the second-rate pitcher, but then he eventually moved up to being the main pitcher of the lineup. He probably will be going into playoff season territory, maybe. I don't know.
But alright. Next, more votes than King Boo, we got Funky Kong.
My man.
As well as Morbius. So, any thoughts on Funky Kong being a fan favorite this season?
You know, I tried to make him a fan favorite this season, and I succeeded. Even if he's not in the All-Star game, people like him. And Morbius is Morbius.
He went from being kind of the scapegoat of the league to actually having a presence in the last couple of games we've seen him in. So that's a good improvement.
He went from being a net negative to being somewhat of a net positive.
Yeah.
Which I would say is good.
He won me like 2 of my games because he got good hits, and you know he even got home in the rookies game. So.
And I mean, we may not see him in the All-Star game. We're gonna have to wait to see who the GM selected, but we will see him in the Home Run Derby. So maybe he'll make his presence known there. All right. Nobody got 16 votes. 17 votes. We had Diddy Kong, who was super solid this year.
Yeah, he definitely fell off from last year just because I couldn't get that star hit going, but you know he still did super good.
He kind of had a lesser role this year too because of Goomba. So
yeah.
18, we got Peter, who just barely didn't make it in because of the fan vote. So still 18 votes, not enough to be in the top 9 from the fan votes. We had a lot of votes this season.
Yeah, and this shows why those votes are extremely important. So if you didn't vote, maybe you want to keep up for next season, because even just a couple votes off, it could mean the difference between one player being in and one player not.
Yeah, if PD gets 1 or 2 extra votes here, he could be in the All-Star game, but right now he's on the outside looking in. So it looks like nobody got that amount, nobody got that amount. And there's a big jump. And then now we have our first player who was voted in by the fans,
All right.
Jake Paul. So we will be seeing Jake Paul in the All-Star game as he comes off of a crazy season.
His first season in the league, actually.
Yeah, he had a really breakout performance there. Pretty decent hits, got on base a lot, really risky with his movements in terms of stealing and moving around the bases, and overall pretty good outfielder too, so just a really all-in-one package there.
And Jake Paul showing why he's better than his brother Logan Paul, who's in the league.
All right, so Jake Paul is going to be the first All-Star voted on by the fans. Let's find out who the next one will be. It is 2 people, Hello Mario and Blooper. So, of course, Mr. Monkey's GM, you are Hello Mario's father, because you created him.
Yeah, I'm a Hello Mario enthusiast, and this season he's shown a lot of his stuff I knew he had in him. The first 3 seasons, he was middle of the road, but he was just super good this season, probably my best player.
And we saw Blooper step up too. He was a really good backup pitcher for the Spitballs. Didn't have to pitch too much because Waluigi, of course, is just there. But Blooper stepped in really well. Got some decent hits too, and overall showed his stuff for the team.
Crazy good hitter, and I would argue is in contention for that comeback player of the year. This is Blooper's second All-Star game and Hello Mario's first All-Star game. So some good achievements here from these two. Now up next, we got Goomba with his first All-Star appearance of maybe many more to come.
Yeah, so Goomba, I didn't expect him to be that good of a pitcher, but he really showed his stuff this season, and I knew he had it in him, so I'm proud of my man.
Alrighty, and somebody who finished higher in the fan vote than Goomba and Hello Mario, Baby DK, the home run leader on the season. And so, yeah, this one definitely surprised me because, you know, I'm the Eggs GM, and, you know, I thought Baby DK was definitely solid this season, but I definitely did not expect him to place this high in All-Star voting. But I guess being the home run leader on the season definitely accounts for something, as well as being a really, really solid defensive player. So Baby DK, second All-Star appearance in a row. So we'll see if he can keep that trend going. Now up next, we got 2 rookies here with Dixie Kong and Bowser Jr. So 2 phenomenal players this season. Dixie Kong, of course, one of the best sluggers in the league this season, will be in contention for that award. And Bowser Jr., same thing. He's basically an instant double with his star power.
Yeah, no one can forget the clambers that Dixie did in that one game, preventing
That
all
is
his
true.
home runs. And Bowser Jr. just always an amazing hitter. Always get the specials off. If he gets a special off, his is one of the best star specials in the game because he gets a guaranteed double every time he hits that, as long as it's not foul. So, yeah, 2 amazing sluggers here, and it's great to see them in the All-Star game.
Yeah, and being the rivals of the rookies, every time Bowser Jr. comes up, it's either going to be a double or an out, and I'm just super scared of that, so super solid player.
Alrighty, so I believe we have 2 All-Stars left here from the fan vote. And there is a big gap between, basically every ballot had 2 players on them, with the first being Boshi. And I guess I spoiled the second. The second being Waluigi. So
right.
these 2 players were on almost every single ballot, and I would argue are the 2 front runners for MVP right now. So obviously first we have Boshi, who is basically a jack of all trades. Was surprisingly one of the best pitchers in the league. Had more strikeouts than I think every other pitcher than Waluigi, although don't quote me on that. And I believe he had something like a 850 on-base percentage, which is ridiculous. That means if Boshi steps up to the plate, there's like an 85% chance he's going to get on base, which is ridiculous. It's something that we've never seen, except from basically Monty last season.
Yeah. And again, Boshi is just good at everything. He can hit well, he can field well, he can pitch well, which is something he finally showed this season.
He was really good at stealing bases, too.
Yeah, he also stole a lot of bases. And in terms of his pitching, going against him, it's hard to tell where that ball's going because he's mastered the art of throwing it right at the edge of the batter's box. Like, you don't know if it's going to be in or out. And that tripped up so many people and just got him so many strikeouts. And it's not just the pitching, though. It's everything else. So he is really just the all-in-one player. And I can tell why he's so high up on this list.
And in front of him, of course, we have Waluigi, who may be the unanimous pitcher of the year this year. I don't really know how the voting's going to shape out, but he has been a phenomenal pitcher. And off of his team's big comeback in the standings, I think it makes sense why Waluigi's so high.
I mean, yeah, and the stats show it too. And if he does get pitcher of the year, then that will be 4 pitchers
Yeah,
of the year
4
awards?
pitchers of the year awards in 5 seasons. So we'll have to see if that shapes out. But all right, so those are the 9 All-Stars voted on by the fans. So now I'm going to show the full field of All-Stars. So the top row, we got the 9 voted on by the fans. The bottom row, we have the 9 voted on by the GMs. So obviously leading off that class, we have King Boo, who was unanimously voted in by the GMs. Every single GM voted for him, and I can see why.
Yeah. He was a really great pitcher, really great relief pitcher. And I had a feeling he'd be voted in just because of how well he did in that one part. And I feel like he's going to show his stuff later, too. So King Boo is just... I feel like he has a pretty good choice for everyone.
And up next, of course, we got Morbius, who is voted in by 6 of the 7 GMs. One left him off the ballot, but it's all right. Still made it in here. And obviously, Morbius morbed all over the league this season. He got his doctorate in baseball, and yeah, he will be featured in the All-Star game. So up next, we got Dream, who we mentioned earlier, and he was on, I believe, 5 of the 7 GMs voted for Dream.
Yep.
So pretty solid numbers here.
Yep.
And up next we got Diddy Kong, who I believe the next 3, Diddy Kong, Green Critter, and Peach, were on 4 of the 7 ballots.
Yeah.
So all 3 of these managed to sneak their way in. Diddy Kong, like we mentioned before, was super, super good. He was like the best role player you could ask for this season. Just crazy solid at everything. And then, of course, Green Critter, like you mentioned earlier. Although your team may have been struggling the past few games, Green Critter was not.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, we have Peach, who is a very, very good pitcher this year. And now the final 3, we got Petey Piranha, Rosalina, and Matt. So these 3 could be interesting for some. Petey Piranha, of course, with his 500 on-base percentage. Pretty solid stuff. Rosalina was a crazy good batter this year.
Yeah.
I think she got a triple, maybe even a couple doubles. Really, really good stuff from Rosalina. And lastly, just squeaking his way in, we got Matt, who is here based off his really, really good hitting, as well as him and Dixie in the outfield. Pretty good defensive duo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Got those cannons.
Yep, and got that pink.
And I mean, all of the Miis this season have shown their stuff because I think all of the Miis are in the All-Star game this season.
Yeah, every single
actually,
me
yeah.
is in the All-Star game.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll be seeing some more Miis next season, as this could be the season of the Miis here, as they pretty much dominated. But all right, so do you guys have any final thoughts on this? Players you like? Maybe some snubs?
I think Darkbones really should have made it in. He had so many home runs. Like, and I know he got into the home run derby, but like I feel like he was all-star material just in terms of all the stuff he did for offense for that team.
Yeah, I mean, Darkbones was super solid, and he was also a good defensive player. But, you know, I think my boy Rupa got... Because he was my second best player on the averages, and he only played 4 of the 5 games. So that means he did better than almost all of my other players, and he didn't even play all of his games. So
I will tell you, Rupa was the first one out. If one more person would have voted for Rupa, he would have been in. So Rupa was All-Star number 19 this year. Just barely didn't make it in. So it's unfortunate for Rupa. I think it's a travesty that Logan Paul didn't make it in.
Yeah.
Obviously a fan favorite here.
Really showed his stuff this season. He'll just have to try harder next season, though.
Someone interesting, Yoshi, who had I believe it was a 650 on-base percentage, did not receive a single vote from the GMs.
That's interesting.
Which is very, very interesting. So I honestly think Yoshi might have been the biggest snub here from the All-Star game. And, I mean, players like Blue Pianta got votes, Birdo got votes, Pablo almost snuck into the All-Star game based off GM votes, and Yoshi did not receive a single vote. Which is something interesting that I just wanted to bring to the table here. But, alrighty, so these are our 18 All-Stars. The Home Run Derby will be next Tuesday, the All-Star Game will be next Thursday, and then we will be announcing the end of season awards such as MVP, Pitcher of the Year, Slugger of the Year. All of that will be on Saturday. So I hope you guys are looking forward to next week, and we will see you then.
See ya.
Bye-bye.